Um, Trustee Watson, you're ready for off the audit committee. Yep, the records. Trustees Watson, Nick, Kistner are present online. Trustee Wilson and Wabi are.
So move. Second.
Everyone. We are completed retirement. Note that the slide status of our engagement done. So with your draft of those provided you as a reminder, the scope of our engagement, form an audit, as well as those are this outline assessment. Think about our risk, specifically higher risk. Those are value. Specifically, the go to the next 3 slides. This is going to be, so in summary, investment wasn't as very net relatively still performed not as good. I'm going to go so here's some required community. The result of our modified opinion evaluate significant. However, items that want to go counting power. Talk about significant really relate value time because if you want to go slides, is not alt to effectively file to provide their fair value. A couple weeks ago, result of that difference, ultimate value, plan advisors value of investments at different 900,000 value of the investment was material. was material. This was only uh,
That's the correct.
yeah, that of the
I'll go
material. Oh, of the letter, yeah. If you want to scroll down, slide again. Efficiency. The last item we had, but we do testing of eligibility. Part of that, and basic contribution. These two comments are. We did a sample size of 51 in contribution. That was not, and then we populate data, and it should have been not received. I'll talk. I'll talk through this item and then causes. This next item that when contribution that we did initial sample size of 25 employees. Identified one employee should have did overtime, determine the base applied for your contribution. And we noted that overtime excluded, extrapolated that population, and 52 other employees that erroneously didn't have overtime included. These, as a result of these matters, find under you know, talk to Tim about that. It was really a result of further.
Yeah, I think the combination, historically on the first item, not something historically it was automated system, and new employee does not choose any other benefit house's health plan. Yeah, if they other benefit, new system requires us still to proactively was an audit. So that was something wasn't staff what that has been fixed. There's not, so going forward, everybody
Costed.
well that this was for the fifth. That
Oh, okay.
was
Sorry.
very small.
Yeah.
Small.
Under around 15,000 item dollars for. So again, curiosity.
The overtime item sums the calculation being fixed and everything.
So, that's the scores and highlights of our report. Elaborate on.
All right,
Okay,
thank you, Andrew.
My turn. Administration for option. I do want to do questions up for, so team member turn off. Go ahead and open 2. For the most recent team, it was this is a claim. It's both odds. This area is administered HR students with this process. It's comp. Reason legal took a lot of these claims, legal was getting involved anyway, so it was just easy to receive the process. Census. The district does utilize Strayer, Thomas McGee. They manage claims submitted against, as well as they pursued on district behalf against other entities. Probably, I would say, ballpark 9% claims against us, and they're pursuing. The types of claims, the 5 buckets are water back, sewer back, workman's auto, property, general life. 2 big ones as far as numbers, dollars. So the district is 100% for the water back. Self-funded and property claims up to 5,000. Self-funded automobile for damage to other vehicles, not our vehicle. Self-funded own vehicles, but for other vehicles, utility claim, self-funded. There is insurance beyond the self. Also, I should mention Thomas McGee, also our insurance broker. I think this helps see the whole thing. Insurance and yet insurance following consolidates it. The current contract, slide 3, second over since 2000. See the action contract. That was where we approved the first option year, 4 options for the see the contract. Below there you can see the fees. It's how many claims that have it. You have same fee every month. Incremental. Now I could say, I think the fees are pretty. We did this audit 10 years ago. We were paying. Part of that's automation, processes, the system software is more active. A lot of it was more manual. You go to slide 4. I just want to show you now. Handle table Boston calendar 20 and 6 months 25. Obviously, water backup is very dependent on weather driven. See, we're doing pretty good in 20. We were doing good last year. This time in 24. November hit. November 5th, we had 10 inches of rain. And you can see the bulk of the number of hours are retained to water. Slide 5. The scope again consists of process and controls around claims administration process again. 5 different buckets. I mentioned we're reviewing the process. Thomas McGee, but we're also you should just have a portion of this cycle, make the whole cycle work with our part, which includes monitoring. For the year of focus actions was 23. Again, a heavy focus was water backup, comp. Go to slide 6, a little more breakdown of how the water backup works. There's two main buckets. There's the overcharge main. That's basically just where that's a rain event. It's where there's just more water than the system. So we cover costs up to $3,000 with a $100 deductible, basically with 0.9. Clean up repairs, physical damage, and so. The other bucket, block main, back flush with system. In these cases, this covers damage. What at the what call the justice cash, how your actual cash value seen it called. I'm going to give you an example. So if somebody has a ratty old couch, we're not going to give you $1,000 to buy a house. We're going to give you for it. So it's based on. Now, as to managing funds claims, in addition to the communications, they do have quarterly health, basically health. It's kind of a roundtable thing. TMG personnel, account managers, comp adjusters, property adjusters, and personnel, legal, personnel, they're all talking major sheet for each far back, workman's comp, what's going on, and how it should be managed and how it should be handled. There's also an annual meeting with TMG, since overall client activity. So there's a lot of communication. So, any questions? Slide 7, give you a little explanation how this overall process works. For the water backup, so the customer's got a customer care center. You guys remember we did audit on that. So we were kind of able to see, signing up, kind of tie the test. They send a crew out to the address. The crew investigates, determine is there a problem. Sometimes there is nothing, but then is it a water backup? No, it's charge main. Is it lock main? Going on? They make the operation. They input their file, put codes in Maximo in claim system on the hour. TMJ takes over the customer within 24 hours. On the other claims, a little more comp. Usually, most of the accidents in the operation way. Sure, they're so they're going to be their operators will put their claim in Fusion, notify HR, some processing to report. I send reports over to TMG, and then take over. Now on the auto and the general liability, that's user run through legal, reported to legal, and then communicate to TMG. Now, they process the claims with assistance from the district, and we're monitoring quarterly maintenance. Pay the claim. TMG submits weekly request, and we actually, again, another audit. We did treasury audit. We saw that process during treasury audit, so we were some of that and kind of ensuring leverage that. District review funding request, wire transfer, Tim's group. Send the fund 2 bank accounts, FBO. They're basically for one's for the water backup, the other one's for FBO stands for benefit. So they cut the checks on our behalf Questions? Slide 8. The overall objectives of the engagement were to ensure the contractor is performing contract, processing claims properly, timeliness. We did have one around later. Make sure the inspections are accurately adjudicated, getting the releases. Make sure there's no duplicate payments, no process the same claim twice. Yes, sir.
On the processing, on the
That's everything.
process,
No, we contact process of the contract states you should contact on all claims.
do we find out? Call us on the, then we on with it.
Which claim? Water backup or
Yeah, the water,
the water backup? A customer would call our customer.
right?
They take the call, send out the crew. Crew looks at it. So yeah, it's overcharged, man. Put the code in, man. XML interface with their claim system, sends it over into their claim. They receive it from our system. Shows up.
Right. But the timing of customer calls us, what are my hours we,
That's a different timeline. We're 24 hours applies to from the point they receive it. Supposed to
so
receiving it.
they'll hear from.
Yeah.
Got it.
No. Good question. Go too fast. So we are compliant. Certification requirements. We want to make sure. Well, they by contract they're required to have a SOC report. We want to make sure that happened. We actually looked at it. Also, make sure the IT controls are adequate. Slide 9. We want to make sure their billings, invoices, or team are accurate for preparing the provisions of the contract. Those are pretty straightforward. Again, we want to make sure the district is adequately monitoring the process performed by team gyms under the contract. We do have a recommendation around that item, and I'll talk about that. Slide 10, as far as how did we go about doing the audit, we did obtain all the contract documentation for both contracts. We did do a walkthrough through procedures with personnel here. We met with personnel from legal and HR because they're both involved. Talked about how communication and exchange of data works. And I guess I should say, I also talked with the call center people when I did the call center audit. That was all part of this. I gained a lot of understanding when I talked with them. How the, and also about the processing claims, the district's portion, how the bank accounts are funded, our monitoring procedures. We did attend those meetings. We attended 2 quarterly review meetings, and we attended the annual stewardship meeting. I thought the quarterly review meetings were very, very helpful because it really talked through things and gets everybody on the same page. Slide 11. So we did hold discussions with the personnel at TMG, kind of talking over the same topics, but just their side of it. They do have an office here in St. Louis. That's where the adjusters are out of, and then the account manager is here in St. Louis. So we went there and had discussions with them. The kind of the back office personnel, the people that handle the bank accounts and so forth, and cut the checks, they're actually in Kansas City. So we had some teams meetings with them as well. Probably the biggest thing we did, we had access to their processing and reporting system. That was a very large help in everything we did. We could see supporting documentation for the claims. We could see the communication between TMG and the claimant. We could see the communication between TMG and the district. See all the notes, see the approvals, see the checks being cut. So we could see everything. We see the reports. We see the whole thing. I spent a lot of time in their system. Slide 12. So we obtained bank statements, bank recs, and so forth. We looked at those, make sure everything's lining up. Tested the invoices. Again, those are pretty straightforward. It's a standard fee a month. And then we obtained the SOC report and reviewed that, especially the IT portion, because if we don't have a lot of time to do a lot of IT testing, make sure everything is in place that should be. Any questions? Slide 13. Now, as far as the overall results, satisfactory opinions or clean opinion. I think the process is really working well. I mean, it's a hard job to have. We've got a couple of minor items, nothing of any great significance. Let's go over those if anybody has any questions. Slide 14. So the first item has to do with the district side of things, or it has to do with the monitoring of the processes. So we're talking about those bank accounts. Those are 2 bank accounts for benefit of bank accounts. So when we did the walkthrough procedures, we realized that nobody here from the district was actually looking at the bank accounts or the bank recs. Now, when we did the audit in 2019, that procedure was occurring. It was performed by an analyst who retired, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. And when he retired, they never did fill that job, and there was reorganization in HR, so that task kind of fell through the cracks, so it never got picked up. So when it got moved over to legal, that task wasn't even there. So we're suggesting to re-implement that procedure, start obtaining and reviewing the bank recs, the bank statements, making sure they're being properly reconciled, making sure that activities are lining up with what we expect from the check registers. Make sure we don't see anything unusual in there. Look for any old checks. There's a few of them right now. Gotta keep an eye on that. Make sure we're following the unclaimed property laws, that kind of thing. And review the carrying amounts. We should always come back to the same balance. The balance should increase in those bank accounts when you take account of all the reconciliation items. Any questions? Okay, last item, second item. This has to do with the contract timeline requirements for reaching out to the claimant, kind of what you're talking about, Mr. Wabry. So the contract requires that the claimant it has to be, the claim has to be entered into their system within 24 hours of receipt, and all claimants should be contacted on the same day as the receipt. So basically within 24 hours, that's the part. They need to be contacted within 24 hours. So we looked at 75 transactions, and we noted 5 that didn't meet that 24-hour requirement. That's a high bar, but I think it's good to have a high bar. The first 2 were water backups. It was received in the system on 10/26. They contacted the entity on 10/30. Now, bear in mind on this one, operations was out there talking to them, so there wasn't like that nobody was talking to them. I think it was a church actually. So operations was out there talking. It was block man. They were out there talking to them, letting them know what was going on. The second one is another WVU. We received in the system 4/18. The contact was not made to 5/4/21. There was some contact information issues, but what they should do is go into our billing system and get that information. They have access to our billing system. The last 3 are workers' comp items. The first 2 have the same dates. They were notified at they came in the system 6/29. They contacted the claimant 7/5. Same thing in the second one, and the third one was 9/18 and 9/20. So slide 16. Now, as I said, that's a high bar. All these claims they were all contacted within 5 or 6 days. So in the general sense, initial contact was timely, but it does not meet the requirements of the contract, which again is a high bar, but I think that's what we should shoot for. There were no detrimental effects from this. The claims were processed properly and effectively. There's no delays in service or payment, anything like that. So we're recommending on slide 17. I don't think there needs to be any major process overhauls. I think it's working pretty well. There's maybe some tweaks. So we're recommending, they make sure all the reports and dashboards are designed properly, and I think they probably are. It's just more of a monitoring and following up issue. Make sure they're doing that properly, and then if they need contact information that need to be using our billing system, get that information, which they have access to. Anybody have any questions? That is all I have. I appreciate your time, guys.
Trustee Watson, that's all we had for the audit committee today. Trustee Watson, are you on mute? All right, Trustee Watson may have stepped away, so we will adjourn the audit committee meeting and swap out documents and move to program management. Trustee Kistner will be ready in just a minute. Kistner, we are ready for the program management committee meeting, if you are ready. Okay, we still have Todd available if, okay, all right, thank you. Yep, the record will reflect that all trustees are present. Trustee Kistner, Watson, and Nicholasison present online. Trustees Wilson, Evans, and Wabi present in the room.
Second.
Good morning, trustees. Let me know at any time or get a hold of us if we lose the connection again. First item is the Prospect Hill landfill improvements. This action will appropriate additional funds and authorize staff to amend an existing design contract with Freezor Engineering for design services and contingencies for the Prospect Hill landfill improvements. This project consists of the design services and preparation of construction documents for a modification of the existing MDNR permit for the special waste disposal operating permit and grading and berm improvements for the landfill. The purpose of this project is to obtain permitting from MDNR, followed by construction for the vertical expansion to extend the useful life of the existing MSD loaned landfill operated as Prospect Hill landfill. This will extend the life by approximately 10 years that is used for disposal of incinerator ash from the MSD incinerator facilities. The appropriation of $1.4 million for design services is equal to the proposed budget funding for the project in the capital improvement program. There will be future supplemental appropriations required in fiscal years 27 and 28 to complete the design services through the construction. Are there any questions? Next items is a Watkins Spanish Lake Sanitary Relief Project. This appropriates additional funds and authorizes staff to amend the design contract. This ordinance authorizes the district to enter amendment number 5 with Intuition and Logic for the construction phase services for this project. The project provides contingency funds for construction phase services. The project is currently under construction. This project consists of design preparation and construction documents for 2,300 feet of 27-inch diameter sanitary sewers. The purpose of the project is to alleviate wet weather building backups and overcharged sanitary sewers. The project began in fiscal year 2025. The appropriation of $50,000 is equal to that proposed in the budget supplement. Are there any questions? Next item is the wet weather optimization study. This appropriates additional funds and authorizes staff to amend the design contract. The ordinance authorized to enter into amendment number 4 for the final option year with Jacobs Engineering Group for the wet weather optimization study. Wet weather optimization was established to design and implement a wet weather control strategy for the Lee service area under varied conditions from present end of the consent decree program. The results of the implementation will be a real-time control support system that will operate existing infrastructure with the ability to incorporate future planned infrastructure. The operational control strategy we designed to utilize real-time data and integrated control strategy to allow the district to optimize the performance of the facilities. The contract amendment is for a total of $1 million, and after this amendment, the total design appropriation for the entire planning project will be $6.5 million. Again, this supplemental appropriation of $1 million is equal to what was proposed in the budget supplement. This project kind of blends together the modeling and the program for the entire Lee watershed. As you know, we're building quite a few facilities, which include 2 tunnels. We've got multiple pump stations, storage facilities. This will develop the communication strategy for all those to optimize the flow, to allow the different tunnels to talk to each other, so we're storing as much flow as possible. And it's very important to incorporate that to allow us to store as much of the overflow as we can and treat as much as we can. So it's a very important project.
So this is a mechanized system that like opens gates and
When it's all complete, in other words, it built the physical model that puts these systems online, which will allow them then, in addition to the SCADA project, which we're working on right now as well, will allow them to speak. Like if it's raining one area and something's not being utilized, we could possibly store more flow there and allow flow to get to. It all is driven by how much we can treat at the wastewater treatment plant.
oh, cool. And when's this going to be built?
Well, it's really this is set up the base model till the end of the consent decree. So we'll bring on new facilities as they get built. right now it's the existing controls along River to Pear.
Right,
The Deer Creek Tunnel, which has been built.
right.
The Gravois Creek Tunnel, which is, our tank has been built. So as we do the big two major tunnels, they'll be brought on and they'll all eventually talk to each other. Next item is Abyssal Point wastewater treatment facility influent pump station VFD replacements. This action appropriates funds and authorizes staff to enter into a construction contract. The work to be done consists of the removal and replacement of 3 existing variable frequency drives and associated mechanical components. The purpose of this project is to renew aging electrical infrastructure within the influent pump station to maintain existing service levels. The district received 3 bids on this project. The low bid was from Reinhold Electric. The bid was below our design estimate, and our appropriation of $2,150,000 is below our budget. Reinhold Electric, this is the first project they've performed by the district. They have sufficient capacity and the capability to do the project. They won't be allowed to bid any additional project until this project's complete. On this particular project, we had bid it once before and had 3 bidders as well, and none of them met the MWB goal. Because of the self-performance of the project, we met with diversity and felt like it was should be waived, and we were able to get 3 good bids after that. The next item is the Northeast Branch River to Pear Stormwater Management Project. This appropriates funds and authorizes staff to enter into agreement with Metropolitan Golf Foundation. This ordinance appropriates funds and authorizes staff to enter into agreement with Metropolitan Golf Foundation. The Metropolitan Golf Foundation is rebuilding the golf course at 7605 St. Charles Rock Road and will incorporate the construction of on-site stormwater detention facilities in excess of the requirements to reduce flooding and stormwater issues along the northeast branch of River to Pear and the University City branch at River to Pear. This agreement provides for reimbursement up to $600,000 to the Golf Foundation for the construction of these stormwater facilities. This particular project, they came to us early on, and if you've heard or read in the newspaper, they're redoing the Normandy golf course, and they're building additional lakes and retention into that. There is flooding in the northeast branch of River to Pear. This is upstream of the underground tubes that go through Forest Park. Always looking for opportunities to detain more water. This was an opportunity for the district to contribute to that by them detaining more water than they typically would be required to in a redevelopment. So the district is participating with this project. All right, the next item is the L51 pump station force main improvements. This action appropriates funds and authorizes staff to enter a construction contract. The work to be done consists of construction of approximately 8,300 feet of 36-inch force main in connection to the existing structure and appurtenances. The purpose of this project is to construct a replacement force main parallel to the existing force main, allowing for future abandonment or rehabilitation of the existing force main, which is near the end of its useful life. The installation of the L51 pump station, the installation is from the L51 pump station to the Missouri River treatment plant. The district received 5 bids on this project. The low bid was from Kelp Contracting. The bid was below our designer's estimate, and our appropriation of $4.7 million in fiscal year 26 and an additional $8.3 million in fiscal year 27 will provide for a total appropriation of $13 million for the project. Kelp is committed to 20.48% MWBE, which meets our 10% minority and 10% women goals for the project. Next project is the Lambert Airport Restricted Access Asset Inspection and Repair Project. This action appropriates funds and authorizes staff to enter a construction contract. It authorizes the district to enter in the first year of a multi-year project with in situ form technologies. The purpose of this project is to complete the rehabilitation of approximately 19,000 lineal feet of sewers from 8 to 42-inch in diameter using the cured in place pipe method. The purpose of this project is to reduce inflow and infiltration into the system and rehabilitate older, damaged, and deteriorated sanitary sewers within the restricted areas of Lambert Airport. Sewers are identified through our annual inspection program as required by the consent decree. This project is be scheduled over the next several years. The contract has a total amount for fiscal year 2026 of $2 million. The contract is renewable for up to 5 additional years based on performance. There was one responsive bid on this project. We are recommending go ahead and proceed with this project. We received one bid. It was from In Situ Form Technologies. The bid was above our estimate. Our estimate was $12 million. It was based on what we can tell, it was something we just missed our estimate on. We didn't take enough into consideration of the required access, the number of times the contractor may be allowed or when he's going to be allowed in there. And so that risk that we didn't put in our estimate showed up in his bid. I will tell you, we bid this previously last fiscal year, and we received 2 bids, both in the high 20 millions. So we circled back, took a look, and under the new contract, we actually have hired a consultant to assist working with the airport, consultant that's worked in the airport before to coordinate the security requirements for the airport. I've been here a long time. We've been trying to get in there to do rehabilitation within the airport. It's very difficult. There's a lot of requirements on our contractors. Even if MSD is required to get in there, there's required training, safety training. This is an opportunity we have with the new work that's going to be going on to get into the airport and do some rehabilitation on the public sewers within the airport. And that's why we're recommending proceeding with this bid.
Rich, does In Situ Form, they have like a proprietary technology, right?
It's no longer proprietary. We actually have 3 cured in place contractors that do work for us and have probably for the last 15 years or so. Generally, we'll see bids. Typically, we'll see 2 to 3 bids. Most of the work has gone, the other contractor that does this is SAK Construction. When we bid this the first time, that was our other bid for this.
Right.
They did not bid this time. Theirs was not going to change, so they just didn't submit the second time around. But no, typically our prices and our CIPP work, because both of those are national, worldwide
Right.
CIPP contractors, we've on the most part gotten probably better prices than what typically we've seen around the country.
Why didn't our designer estimate go up then?
Well, we based our designer estimate was based on what we've typically seen for prices. They did not add the additional risk involved on this particular project. The security, one of the things that we found is the mobilization can be when the airport says you can come in, you stop what you're doing and you come in. And it could be off hours, things like that. That's something when in talking with our staff, we did not take that into consideration to the level to bring our estimate up. Thank you. All right, the next item is the North Waterford Storm Improvement Project. Appropriates funds and authorize staff to enter a construction contract. The work to be done consists of the construction of approximately 244 lineal feet of storm sewers from 15 to 18 inch. Purpose of the project is alleviate yard flooding on North Waterford in the city of Florissant. The district received 5 bids. The low bid was from Tailor Made Construction. The bid was below our design estimate, and our appropriation of $375,000 is below the original budget. Tailor Made is committed to 20.37% minority and women participation, which meets our 10% minority and 10% women goal on the project. All right, the last 7 items that I have are all support services for district planning and operation services. These are ongoing, most of these are ongoing contracts that we have with for vendor services such as CCTV, flow metering, system investigation, things like that. So they're all very similar in nature. They support our planning effort. I'll describe each one individually. They support our operations. They support our asset management program. So they're all annual vendor contracts that I bring to the board for annual appropriations and contract amendments. The first item is CCTV inspection and physical inspection of sewers. This action appropriates additional funds and authorizes staff to amend a design contract with ACE Pipe Cleaning. The purpose of this contract is to provide district staff information regarding sewer condition and CCTV inspection or physical inspection of sewers. These inspections determine the conditions which will then be the basis for preventative maintenance, such as lining or rehabilitation efforts. This supplemental appropriation is specific to this contract. It's for $1 million, and we're utilizing it to do special inspections on 2 of our force mains on our major pump stations, for our Bonfils pump station and Gasconade force mains. So this is a special project just to look at those 2 force mains. It was part of, they had done some other force main inspections as part of this. So this appropriation is $1 million, equal to that in the budget supplement, which will bring this total project to $11,500,000, and this will be the final option year of this project. Question? All right, the next item is CCTV inspection and physical inspection of sewers. This action appropriates funds and authorizes staff to enter into a contract. This ordinance provides the district to enter into a contract with ACE Pipe Cleaning. The purpose of this project is to provide district staff with information regarding the condition of using closed circuit television and physical inspection and sewer cleaning. These inspections will determine condition and will form the basis for preventative maintenance activities, our I&I investigation, our sewer system models. Sewer cleaning is also performed as part of this contract. This contract for CCTV inspection is for $3 million. This contract will be renewable for up to 4 additional years based on performance. We did receive 2 proposals on this, the other from Trek Design Group, based on cost and other criteria that ACE was selected for this proposal. Oh, I'm sorry. They're on these vendor services, typically we do not, because they're mostly self-performed for MWBE goals. So the goals are waived, but we do have them if there's availability for M or W participation. This particular project, ACE is committed to utilizing some subcontractors for this work, subconsultants to the tune of about 28%. So they're not required, but if there's an opportunity, they will provide participation. Excuse me. Next item is critical infrastructure asset assessment and asset investigation. This action appropriates funds and authorized staff to enter into a contract. Ordinance authorized the district to enter into a contract with Trek Design Group. The purpose of this contract provide district staff with detailed information regarding sewer systems by performing services such as project inspection reconnaissance, field investigation of sewer systems and structures, inspection, prioritization, project setup, field verification, map updates, sewer overflow monitoring, work order management, and post-inspection review. These services will perform the basis for the district's preventative maintenance and rehabilitation activities. These investigations also provide assistance to the operation department with their sewer cleaning and manhole inspection activities. This contract for critical infrastructure assessment is $1,700,000. This contract is renewable for up to 2 additional years. The appropriation for vendor services is equal to that in the proposed funding presented in the budget supplement. This project had no MWB goals, and under this particular one, they are not providing any additional MWB participation. Next item is flow metering and monitoring. This appropriates additional funds and authorized staff to amend a design contract. This enter into the 4th and final option year with ADS Environmental Services. The purpose of this contract is to provide district staff with flow and level information in the separate sanitary, the combined, and storm sewer systems during dry and wet weather flow conditions at approximately 250 locations throughout the district. This data is a diagnostic tool that will be used to meet our consent decree requirements, refine our hydraulic models, and determine the effectiveness of our projects that we've constructed. This contract for flow metering and monitoring is for $2.5 million. After this amendment, the total contract appropriation will be $12,500,000. This is the final renewal. We'll re-solicit this out to the marketplace for fiscal year 27. ADS has committed to 13% on this contract. Up until this point, they're running right at 12.25. So they're right on what they had indicated that they'd be able to have for participation. Again, there was no goal on this project. Next item is rainfall radar rainfall data. This action appropriates additional funds and authorized staff to amend the contract with View and Associates. This contract allows the district to continue maintaining the integration between the existing range gauge network and NexRad radar data in an effort that produces the district's gauge-adjusted radar rainfall used by the district engineers, various planning and design consultants, and operations division. This contract provides for web-accessible rainfall data to district personnel monthly, archive or quality rainfall data, major rainfall event support, and support of the district's, again, hydraulic models, as well as any training required. Radar rainfall is the technology used, again, for hydraulic modeling and calibration, confirming sewer flow metering responses to a rain event, inflow and infiltration assessments, CSO and SSO control planning efforts, and preliminary and final design, and assistance with preliminary and final design. The technology allows the district to estimate more accurately the amount of rain that falls within the district boundaries that is not detected at our rain gauge sites, but it essentially increases our number of available rainfall measurement from 100 to almost 2,000 data points. After this amendment, the total contract appropriation is $400,000. This contract is renewable for an additional 3 years based on performance. If you recall, when we've had significant rain events and we've brought you maps of locating where these rainfall and the recurrence interval and the amount of rainfall. This information allows us to put those together. It's not mentioned in here, but it also has been used as a public information tool when we go out and we're actually talking to people about how much rain has fallen, to allow them to make them understand the amount of rainfall and what our system can handle and what can't handle. So it's an important tool for us. Next item is stormwater asset investigation. This appropriates additional funds and authorizes staff to amend the contract with Trek Design Group. The purpose of this contract is to provide district staff with detailed information regarding storm systems by performing services such as project inspection, reconnaissance, field investigations of storm systems, and structure inspections, inspection prioritization, map updates, asset ownership, and work order management post-inspection review. These investigations all provide assistance for the operation department with their sewer cleaning and manhole inspection activities. After this amendment, the total contract appropriation will be $1,600,000. This contract is renewable for up to 3 additional years based on performance. We initiated this contract in 2016, or a similar contract. We utilize this consultant to go out in the areas where we have sewers identified, but they're not mapped, never been looked at. So they go out and do the field work, get these sewer systems into our system. That allows then our operations crews then to come in and start their what we call CMOM inspections, looking at these systems and determining their condition for future asset management. Then finally is a contract for stream flow gauge operation and maintenance. This action appropriates additional funds and authorizes the district to continue an agreement with USGS, United States Geological Survey, for the collection of flow data necessary to support our SSO or CSO and our stormwater Phase 2 regulations program required by the consent decree. The work to be done is to continue to collect stream gauging information for 25 watersheds throughout the district. For fiscal year 2026, US will continue the operation and maintenance of the existing network of 40 stream gauging stations within the 25 watersheds. The data will be used to provide reliable flood peak and storage and stage estimates for use in hydraulic and hydrologic models and calculations within the drainage basin. The gauge data and calculation methods are typically used for projects utilizing stream gauging information and stream discharge estimates. Again, this supports some of our post-construction monitoring and is used within our water quality models to verify the consent decree, the water quality within the streams to meet our consent decree requirements. This contract is for $625,000 for the appropriation. The total cost of the program is $680,630. USGS performs all the data. The district supports that program with its $625,000. Are there any questions? Trustee Kistner, I'm assuming you've been able to hear throughout? Okay.
No other business. All right, meeting's adjourned. We'll switch documents out and the finance meeting will start in just a minute. All right, we have documents switched out. Trustee Evans, we're ready when you are.
Okay, we'll call order the 317th meeting of the Finance Committee. Roll call, please.
And we'll note that all trustees are present, with trustees Kistner, Watson, and Nicholas online.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the prior meeting? Second, anybody? Thank you. Next item is the ARC Committee report.
Good morning, trustees. I am here to present the our committee report for the period of April 2025 through June of 2025. This is a report that's required by our wastewater ordinance. During this quarter, we had 36 total adjustments for an amount of approximately $319,000. The bulk of those adjustments you can find in the top section of the report. There were 32 total adjustments, which consisted of approximately $291,000. The bulk of those adjustments were water off adjustments. There were 12 of those, totaling $136,000. That, of course, is information that we get from the water utilities that a water service was off during a period in which we billed. So we have to then go back and adjust those customers' accounts and refund those dollars. We also had 6 reduction factor adjustments, which totaled $88,000. The bulk of those adjustments consisted of one, actually. It was a $63,000 adjustment that we made to a hospital. Their reduction factor decreased, meaning that there was a reduction in the amount of water that was entering our sewer system, so we made an appropriate adjustment again, totaling $63,000. There was also 4 encoding errors or adjustments, totaling $70,000 that we made. Of that $70,000, $60,000 of that consisted of 2 adjustments. We were contacted by Missouri American Water. They had a customer that had been using water for irrigation purposes. It's actually an irrigation meter, 2 irrigation meters that were identified. And so we made those appropriate adjustments. Obviously, we don't bill for irrigation meters. The next section that I will cover are the write-off section. We had 4 adjustments totaling approximately $27,000. These are properties that were acquired by the LRA, and so we wrote off the balances of those accounts. And then finally, in the other section, these are actual billings that we do. We had 3 billings to the Bridgeton landfill for treatment of their wastewater. We had 2 billings to Missouri American Water. Those billings relate to operating expenses that they pay for their share of the the Lower Merrimack treatment plant, and also their cost of capital that they reimburse us for that treatment plant as well. Are there any questions regarding the report that I can answer? Okay. Hearing none, thank you for your attention.
We just have one more item on the Finance Committee, and that's the monthly operating fund portfolio. So I'll just highlight some of the changes from last month. Total portfolio is about $15 million higher than last month, so more funds coming in than came out. That includes a reimbursement from the State Revolving Fund program of roughly that amount is the fluidized bed incinerator project continues to go. We have big payments out, but then we're getting reimbursed from the loan. Yield to maturity is roughly flat. We were 4.18 last year, 4.19. I'm sorry, last month. This month, 4.19. The benchmark is kind of moving all over the place. It's almost 20 basis points higher as people are trying to digest tariff information, the timing of tariffs. If I had run this report one day later after the labor statistics came out, this number would be 3.74, so it would have dropped about 25 basis points. So that those shorter term treasuries are moving around a little bit right now. A weighted average maturity of the portfolio for us is lower since we have these large payments going out on the big project. We're keeping our funds pretty short. Look for opportunities to go out, but we are getting better returns, staying short, and we need the funds in the coming months. So we expect even bigger payouts. Weighted average maturity for the benchmark stayed around I think it was 1.86 last month, 1.9, so roughly the same. Sector allocation consistent with staying short. We actually saw a drop in the amount of allocation of our portfolio to treasury bonds and notes, just about 3 percentage points, and that was all added to commercial paper. Commercial paper are usually our highest returning short-term investment, so that is up to over 21%. So we are nearing our limit of 25%, but we're still within policy. Fund summary at the bottom, the bulk of the extra funds or increase in funds from last month is in the MSD operations, about 17 million higher. I apologize for the error in the weighted average maturity and yield to maturity in the MSD operations line. The weighted average maturity should be 0.9, so just under a year, and the yield to maturity is the 4.19%, roughly in line with last month. The other weighted average maturity yield to maturity is very similar to last month, and the maturity distribution is really just a graphical representation of our portfolio versus the benchmark. We're the blue lines, and so we stay much shorter than the portfolio. As usual, the biggest changes here, again, short term up 3 percentage points, the 2 to 3 years, which is out a little bit farther, down 3 basis points. The portfolio did the opposite. It was actually less on the shorter end and more higher in the middle end, that 1 to 2 years. But nothing out of the ordinary here, unexpected. We'll continue to watch rates. What we're seeing still are short-term rates dropping, which is in general not great for investment returns, but holding pretty steady. Long-term rates higher than where they started the year, which isn't great for borrowing, but all the debt that we have planned for the next year is coming from the state revolving fund, which helps mitigate those increases quite a bit. Any questions on the portfolio report? If not, Trustee Evans, that's all we had for this meeting.
Okay, next tentative meeting date is September 2nd. Can I get a motion to adjourn, please? All right, thank you.
All right, we're adjourned and we'll switch out documents and then we'll move to stakeholders. Trustee Wilson has agreed to take over.
Committee meeting. Can I get a roll call?
The record will reflect that all trustees are present with trustees Kistner, Watson, and Nicholson online.
I don't believe there are any comments by the chair. Can I get a motion to approve the committee meeting minutes July the 1st?
Second?
No objection, the minutes are approved. Ms. Kingston, I think you have the floor first.
Thank you. Good morning, trustees. I'm here today to present agenda item number 60, ordinance number 16675. This item is to authorize the staff to amend the intergovernmental agreement with Regional Justice Information Service Commission. We refer to that as REGIS. They provide our data center co-location services. This action is necessary, and I'm requesting this so that we can add 2 additional contract option years to the existing agreement This is necessary because we have some critical infrastructure projects that are moving our applications to cloud-based solutions. What that will do is reduce the number of and the space that we need to house our servers and our applications. So as we do that, the next time we go out to secure data center services, we'll need less space. It'll power and air and everything else involved with the data center. That's what that will accomplish. The original intergovernmental agreement occurred in September of 2020. Any questions? Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Good morning, trustees. At the August board meeting, you will be asked to consider a resolution to extend the district's contract with Thomas McGee Group. Now, this contract is for insurance brokerage services. What Todd presented at the prior committee meeting was their claims management services. We have two contracts with Thomas McGee, and this is for the insurance piece. They perform insurance brokerage, consulting, and management services. They help us procure all of our policies. The board initially approved this contract in 2023. That contract allows for 4 one-year renewals, and this renewal under this resolution would be the second of the 4 renewals and would extend the contract from September 1st of this year through August 30th of next year. Any questions on that? If not, let me go on to talk about our conflict of interest policy. Again, at the August board meeting, we will introduce an ordinance to approve the district's conflict of interest policy. Missouri law, ethics law, requires that an entity such as us review and officially renew our policy on conflicts and prohibiting conflicts of interest every 2 years. We last did this 2 years ago, 2023, so we're due. The district has for many years had a comprehensive conflict of interest policy. We're always looking at it as issues may arise. The policy prohibits a covered individual or entity from being involved in any transaction or contract in which their professional interest or the interests of the district conflict with their personal interest. The policy also covers MSD contractors, suppliers, vendors, that sort of thing. Given the comprehensive nature of our policy, we didn't see anything major that needed change this time. We made some minor wording changes and consistency. We wanted to make sure that every place we referred to trustees, officers, and employees, that was carried over throughout. Same thing on the supplier and contractor side. We just wanted to be consistent. The substance of the policy remains as it was. We're presenting it to you as required for reapproval. Any questions? If not, that's all I have. Thanks very much.
Pat, have we seen the policy?
I'm sorry?
Have we seen the?
Yes, trustee, I emailed it to you. I hope that went through to each of you on Friday with both the redlined
Got it. Yes.
and the clean. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to entertain it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, the next item is we have a requirement to go into closed session to discuss records related to municipal outlines established for the reporting of abuse and wrongdoing under section 610.21.16 RSMO. Can I get a motion to go into closed?
Second.
We'll do a roll call vote. Trustee Wabi? Trustee Kistner? Trustee Watson? Thank you. Trustee Evans?
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison? Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
All right, we are in closed session. We have our self-insurance. Other people think that,
Motion to come out of,
are we ready?
Second.
All right, we are back in open session and ready for adjournment.
okay, with that, we've completed the agenda. Our next scheduled meeting is September the 2nd, 2025. With no further business, I'll entertain a motion.
Okay, thank you.
Nothing else, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So move.
All right, thank you all. And then Trustee Kistner, I think you said you would follow up with some questions from the audit meeting. All right, thank you.